What if a single court ruling could ignite a nation, deepen its divisions, and push it irreversibly toward civil war? This is the story of the Dred Scott Decision, a United States Supreme Court ruling so notorious that it is widely regarded as the worst in American history. But what made this case so explosive, and how did it shape the fate of a nation? Born into slavery in Virginia around the turn of the 19th century, Dred Scott's life would become entwined with one of the most contentious issues in American history: the existence of slavery itself. Alongside his wife Harriet, also enslaved, Scott found himself at the heart of legal battles stretching over a decade, challenging the very definition of citizenship and human rights in the United States. How could a man like Dred Scott, who had lived for years in territories where slavery was illegal, still be considered property and denied freedom? This question defined a conflict that was about much more than one man's liberty. It was a contest over the soul of the country. In the early 19th century, the Louisiana Purchase had nearly doubled the nation's land, opening vast territories to settlement but also sparking bitter disputes over the spread of slavery. Northern states where slavery had been abolished wanted to restrict the institution's expansion. Southern states, heavily reliant on slave labor, fought fiercely to extend these rights westward. In 1820, the Missouri Compromise was crafted as a fragile solution to maintain political balance. Missouri would enter the Union as a slave state, while Maine was admitted as a free state. Crucially, slavery was forbidden north of a certain latitude, attempting to contain the spread of slavery. Yet, beneath this fragile peace, tensions simmered, ready to boil over. Dred Scott's life journey brought him face to face with these tensions. Originally enslaved in Virginia, he was sold to an army surgeon, Dr. John Emerson, and moved through free territories including Illinois and the Wisconsin Territory, where slavery was outlawed. There, Scott married Harriet Robinson, and their union was even officiated by a white army officer, a rare acknowledgement of their relationship's legitimacy. Despite living in free regions, Scott remained enslaved. After Emerson's death, his widow, Irene Emerson, inherited Scott and refused to grant freedom, even when Scott offered to purchase it. Determined, Scott launched a legal battle for his freedom in Missouri courts, arguing that his residence in free territories entitled him to emancipation. The courts, however, sailed through turbulent waters. Early legal battles swung back and forth, with initial victories for Scott overturned by other judges citing property rights and state laws. The case ascended all the way to the United States Supreme Court, under the name Dred Scott v. Sanford due to a clerical error. Then came Chief Justice Roger B. Taney's momentous decision in 1857. The court ruled against Scott, declaring that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, could never be citizens of the United States. This meant Scott had no right to sue in federal court. Furthermore, the court declared the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional, claiming Congress did not have the authority to prohibit slavery in the territories. Can you imagine the shockwaves this verdict sent through a nation already on the brink? To millions, especially in the North, it was a dark proclamation that the Constitution protected the institution of slavery and denied an entire race the status of citizenship and legal rights. The ruling did not settle the issue of slavery. It inflamed passions, galvanizing abolitionists and deepening sectional divides. It gave new urgency to anti-slavery politicians, including a rising figure named Abraham Lincoln, who would soon rise to prominence opposing the spread of slavery. Abolitionists like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and William Lloyd Garrison condemned the decision as a legal monstrosity. It laid bare the profound moral and political crisis gripping the nation and propelled violent conflicts such as John Brown's raid at Harper's Ferry. In a cruel twist of fate, Dred Scott was finally freed just months after the Supreme Court's ruling by the man who once enslaved him, thanks to the efforts of supporters who believed in justice. Yet Scott's freedom was short-lived. He died the following year, never fully seeing the fruits of his struggle. The Dred Scott Decision's legacy is a stark reminder of how law and human rights can collide with injustice. It highlights the perils of a judiciary aligned with entrenched power and the enduring fight for equality. Ultimately, this ruling galvanized the nation on a path toward civil war, and decades later, constitutional amendments that would affirm citizenship for all born in America and abolish slavery. Today, the Dred Scott Decision stands as a somber emblem of a divided era and a call for vigilance against similar injustices. It challenges us to recognize the human cost of legal decisions and to remember those who fought courageously for freedom in the darkest of times. Enjoyed the video? Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. See you in the next one.